starting over in your 50s is not for the weak. Let's totally discuss it. This is Totally Disgusted with your host, Derek Andre. That's right, I said it. I said it. Starting over in your 50s is not for the weak. It's just not. This is a PSA for everybody 50 and under. Specifically, I'm speaking to people fresh out of college, maybe still in college, to about the age of about 30, 35. Get your life in order. Get it in order, man. Get your life in order. Make smart choices. Make smart choices. Get yourself an education. And I ain't talking about just a school education. I'm talking about like a real life education. It might come from the streets, whatever. You have to learn how to secure your future. Starting over in your 50s is not for the weak. Say it with me. Starting over in your 50s is what? Not for the weak. I'll be 55 on October 24th, 2025. About a month ago, I took a job working as a delivery driver for Amazon. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I was fairly confident that by the ripe young age of 55, I would be more so on the downhill slide of doing less, not doing more. But see, life got a way of messing with you, man. Things that you do in your youth, whether intentional or not intentional, can have a very long-lasting effect on your life once you get older. And it be the little things. It be the little things, little decisions that you made by who you date, whether you go to school after high school or not, whether you get a college degree or not, what type of field of work that you go in. It be the little things, man, that have the biggest impact on your life later on. I had an amazing upbringing. I have a wonderful mother. My father, he was gone before I really got a chance to know him. But I have wonderful family members on my father's side, wonderful family members on my mother's side. I come from an amazing family. The skills that they gave me made me into the person that I am today. But there are some things that I wish that they had taught me. There are some doors that I wished that they would have opened for me in regards to finance, in regards to entrepreneurship, in regards to home ownership, in regards to credit. There are some things that I wish that they would have taught me when I was young so that I would not have had to try to learn them once I got old and life was lifing. Knowing about what you want to do as a profession as early as possible is one of the biggest game changers you could ever have in regards to your future. Knowing what you want to do with your life can have you all right because it gives you something to focus on. This is number one. Knowing what you want to do as a profession. There are so many people in my demographic that just graduated high school and went out into the world, myself being one of them. So many people in my demographic, they just graduated. That was enough. That was enough. Back then, we thought that was enough. But the world is changing, man. Times are changing. And a lot of times we end up doing things for our lifetime that we did not necessarily plan on being our career. Everybody had something that they wanted to be when they were younger. But not everybody got a chance to pursue it. Ask yourself this question. If you're in my age group, a little older, a little younger, are you honestly doing what you dreamt about when you were younger? Are you honestly doing what you dreamt about when you were younger? It's okay if you're not. But you have to ask yourself the question. A lot of times, we don't even give it a second thought. We don't even give it a second thought. We just get on with our lives. We get up in the morning. We punch that time clock. We go through the day. We punch that time clock at the end of the day and we come home. If there's something that you truly enjoy doing in your spare time, instead of making it a profession, we generally make it a hobby and it just kind of falls by the wayside. So I'm asking you to ask yourself, are you doing what you dreamt of doing when you were younger? Are you doing it? I'm not. I do it in spurts. But see, I didn't know how to pursue what I truly wanted to do when I was younger. And I didn't have anybody guiding me. They taught me all these other wonderful things, man, how to be a good person. They taught me how to treat people. You know, my mom taught me how to take care of myself in regards to, you know, cleanliness and taking care of a home and doing all of those other wonderful things. Those things are amazing. And I am a better person for it. But I wish that somebody would have looked at me when I was younger and been like, you know what? This dude has a serious gift of gab. How can we use that? How can he turn that gift of gab into the bag? How can he get paid for running his mouth? So that part of me just kind of fell by the wayside. I started doing things that everybody around me was doing. I got a job, you know, I went to work. You know, by the time I was 22, I had 2 kids until I realized I only had 1. So I just been kind of stumbling through life. So now here I am at age 54, soon to be 55, starting over because I did not plan my life early on and stick to that plan. See, it don't matter if you do all of the things, you get the information, and you get the information about money and about credit and finance, and you got the career and all of this stuff, and then you just let the plan fall by the wayside. None of that does you absolutely no good. You have to follow the plan that you set for yourself. When you go to McDonald's or a restaurant, I won't say McDonald's because that's gross. When you go to a restaurant and you get ready to order your food, you take the time to order your food exactly the way that you want it. If you're going to order a steak, the waiter comes to the table, server comes to the table. Hi, welcome to Shade, whatever. How can I help you? What would you like to order? And you tell that waiter, I want a filet wrapped in bacon, heavy on the garlic butter sauce. I want to cook medium well. I don't want to see any pink. For my side, I want garlic mashed potatoes, like a Caesar salad for starters. And I'd like a lemonade, because I don't drink, so I can't order a drink. I want a lemonade, light ice, with lemon on the side. You just ordered that meal exactly the way that you wanted it. We have got to start ordering our lives the same way. We got to teach our kids to order their lives the same way they order their food, with specifics. If you just tell the server, I just want a steak, they'll bring you a steak. It might be uncooked. It might be half cooked. It might have fell on the floor. It could be anything. But when you get specific, you usually get what you ask for. Which is why you need to be specific in your youth so that you ain't trying to start over in your 50s because you just took life the way life was served to you. Life is going to life. It's going to happen regardless of whether you order life the way you want it or not. That's what life does, man. It is going to do what it wants to do regardless of whether you plan your steps or not. I sit back and I analyze my life and I look back over the decisions that I've made and the things that I've done. And don't get me wrong, I was never like a criminal. I wasn't doing no crazy, outlandish stuff like that. I was just making uneducated decisions. And when you make uneducated decisions, they may seem right at the time, but you're not looking 5 years ahead. You're not looking 10 years ahead. You're looking at the moment. And that's what trips people up. A lot of the decisions that we make for the moment. We don't make those decisions for the future when you're uninformed, when you're making uninformed decisions. That's why you have to order your life the same way you order your food. You have to be specific in the things that you want, the routes that you take, the questions that you ask. When I sit at the dinner table with when I did, because my kids mainly they all grown. But we would ask and we would talk about stuff, man. We covered some bases, man. My kids ain't perfect. But the more I listen to them talk, the more I hear them talk about some of the things that I've planted, some of the seeds that I've planted, some of the things that have been instilled when it comes to their decision making. It's one thing to go out into the world and just be trying to feel through life in the dark with no information and hoping for the best. That's a scary place to be. Very scary. It's another thing, though, when you have the information that you need and you choose not to use it. I can't make my kids use the information that I give them, but I can damn sure plant the seed, because I don't want my children to be starting over in their 50s. My youngest daughter right now is contemplating moving out on her own with some friends. And I told her, I said, listen, man, it's a big step you got to take. But you also need to know when you get out there on your own, I'm not going to be there to remind you of some of the things that you need to do for self. See, because when you get out into the world, life starts coming at you real fast. So you got to make sure that when you go on out here and you get this place and you get in here with your friends, that the decisions that you're making at 21 are not going to damage you at 51. Same thing I tell my middle daughter, same thing I've taught my oldest son. We were talking earlier today, my son and I. And I enjoy talking to all my kids, but I particularly enjoy talking to my son because he's 10 years older than my youngest ones. And so he's at a different space in life. So I enjoy talking to him and watching him move through life because he made plans and he followed the plans. I hear in his conversation the seeds that I planted because I don't want my children to live the life that I have had to live for all of my adult life. I don't want that for them. And so I talk to them and I ask them strategic questions and I ask them things and I listen to their responses. And based upon their responses, lets me know whether or not that they were paying attention when I was teaching them stuff. When my wife was teaching them stuff. I listened to my two youngest talk about their jobs. Now we have been, because my wife and I didn't really embark upon trying to become entrepreneurs until we were later in life. I was in my which is hard. Again, that's why you end up starting over in your 50s. But it's hard. But we have been trying to instill into our youngest too why it's important to have your own. Why it is important to be your own boss. Why is it important to start your own business or to offer a service or to be a consultant or to do something that belongs to you? Now, like I said earlier, you can tell them all of this information. If they don't use it, that's on them. So now it's funny when I talk to them and we have a conversation. And this job stuff, man. Oh man, this working 40 hours a week. And they don't even really work 40 hours a week. I think they do now. For a while, they weren't even working 40 hours a week. It was killing them. And then you hear them say, man, now I see what you were talking about when you said we should own our own stuff. See, when you plant the seeds, man, when you give your children the information, especially if you didn't have it and you have the ability to pass it on, when you can plant the seed and then you can actually see the seed growing and you can hear it growing in their speeches and their talk and all that, it gives you hope that they will be okay as they begin to get older. My life has been a series of the same incidents. I be asking God, listen, what level am I on now? Because I keep trying to get off this level. It's like playing a video game. I keep trying to get off this level, got to get all the way to the end, and I think I've completed the level. And then something will come along, and I had to do the level all over again. I don't want my kids to do the level all over again, man. Starting over in my 50s, man. I'm out here. I have to be at work. I get to work early because I don't have a car right now because of life. So I'm riding to work with my wife, and I thank her for it every single day because she doesn't work too far from where I work, so she drops me off in the morning. So I'm usually at work an hour and a half, hour 15 minutes early, so I just be sitting there chilling. My day starts anywhere between about 9:45 to 10:15. That's when I start getting out, going to get my packages, putting them in the truck, and then I get out on my route. I've been doing this job for a little over a month. And I'm 54, man. Soon to be 55. When I tell you my body does not like me right now. The other day, the most trips that I did in a day, the other day I did 196 stops. So think about this. 196 times at least. That don't count the times I had to go to the bathroom. That don't count the times I had to load and unload or load the truck in the morning. That's just 196 stops to drop off packages. That don't include climbing up and down the steps. That's 196 times of me jumping out of the truck, and then 196 times of me jumping back in the truck. That's 392 times in and out of a truck in a day. At 54, almost 55. That does not include the walk from the truck to the house. That don't include the incline on the driveway. That don't include the stairs to get to the front porch. That's just 392 times, or 300, is that three? Yeah, 392 times of me jumping in and out of the truck at 55 years old. You know what I had planned on doing by this stage in my life? You know I'm an author. I have books. I'm a YouTuber because you're watching me on YouTube. I do video production. I do all this stuff. See, I didn't start until late. I tried to start early, but life kept life and I had to keep stopping. So I didn't start until late. So I have not been able to really fully try to put my all into the things that I do until I was like in my 40s or so. I had planned on just being like, yep, you know what? I got to do a few YouTube videos for my show this week. I got to keep my channel up and running. You know, I got a speaking engagement to do on, on this, that, and the other. And I'm working on this film project. I was going to do some editing. I had to do some voiceover work for this project. I got it paid for that. That's what I planned on doing in my 50s. making money using my natural God-given talents. Nowhere in the cards did I see myself being an Amazon delivery driver. Now, let me make this clear. I am very thankful for this job. I am. I'm thankful for this job because prior to this job, I had been out of work for like 11 months. And when I tell you my life was crazy, trying to figure out how to pay the utility bills, struggling to pay the rent, had to get help, had to get a GoFundMe to help pay the rent so we didn't get kicked out. Starting over in your 50s is not for the weak. Plan your life, young people. Plan your steps. Put some money aside so that as you go through life, you always got a nest egg. They say you always need to have some effort money. Effort money is when you're on a job, say you decide you want to take a job. You may not need to because you're financially stable, but you just be looking for something to do because sometimes people do that. If you got effort money, that means that if somebody come talking sideways to you, that you got enough money that you can say, you know what? F this and F you. And you can go on about your business. Most people don't have effort money. They don't. Most people have to go to work and they have to take whatever abuse is dished out to them. I am currently in that boat. Fortunately, I work in an environment where I pretty much work by myself as long as I follow the rules of the road and make sure that I'm not, doing nothing stupid while I'm out in the truck. Don't get hurt. I can work pretty much by myself. But not many people have that luxury. Most people work in a place where they work with other people. And some folks are power hungry. Some folks do not know how to be in a position of authority. And so they act like jerks. And if you ain't got effort money or FU money, you have got to stay on this job and deal with it. Man. Oh. Young people, get it together, man. Start early. Start early. If you in high school and you see this video, start early. Start thinking, start planning, start trying to lay things out. You know you're gonna need money as you get out into the world. Start asking questions. Well, how much do electric bill cost? How you pay an electric bill? It used to be how you write a check, but most people don't use checks no more, but you still probably need to know. But how you pay the gas bill? Start asking your parents. What's a car note? Do I really want one of them? What's high interest? What's investments? What's options trading? What's a call? What's a put? What's an asset? What's a liability? You have to start young, man, and you have to start planting the seed early so that you do not look up and your life has flown by. I talk to my two youngest at home all the time. I'd be like, you've been out of high school for 5 years now. And the look of shock that comes across their face You know you're almost 30 now, right? What you doing? What's your plan to move forward? Time moves quickly. The biggest mistake that young people make is believing that they have all the time in the world. You don't. You do not have all the time in the world. And in the scheme of things, you don't have much time at all. So it's important that you make the best of the little time that you have here. If you live to be 100, in the scheme of things, that's still a drop in the bucket when you look at the age of Earth and the universe. 100 years ain't nothing. 100 years from now, it's going to be a whole new group of people on this planet. Every 75 to 100 years, there's a new group of people on the planet. Think about that. It's ancestors that gone on beyond you ain't never ever heard of. You can only go back so far genetically. You don't have as much time as you think you do. So it is imperative that you take the time that you have been allotted right now and make the best of it. I'm not saying don't have fun. I tell my kids all the time, I'm not telling you don't have fun, but just don't let it be at the cost of your future. Don't let your fun throw your future into its tailspin. Don't settle for less. When you're looking for a partner, don't just look for a partner that's good to you. Look for a partner that's good for you as well. You need both of those qualities in a person. They need to not only be good to you, but they need to be good for you. Dope boys was good to their girlfriends, but they wasn't all good for them. Think of how many young ladies that ended up getting locked up in the car during a shootout, cheated on, all kind of. Yeah, he may have been good too. He may have bought you the handbags and the clothes you wanted, or bought you a little car, whatever the case may be. But no, he wasn't good for you. When you dating, look for somebody that is both good to you and good for you. Because believe it or not, when you get in your 50s, if you marry somebody who was only good to you and they can't be good to you no more than what you got. Starting over in your 50s is not for the weak. Your body is not the same. Your hair don't grow the way it used to grow. If you got good dental genes, maybe you can keep your teeth, but some people don't even get to keep their damn teeth. You have health issues that you ain't never had before. That's why in your 50s, you're supposed to be slowing down. You ain't supposed to be speeding up. That's why every night I come in, I got to put ice packs on my knees, man. I'm trying to choke down Tylenols and doing all. Starting over in your 50s, man. No. Imagine you watching a track meet. And they running a quarter mile. That's a lap around the track. The runner get out, they rolling. They get almost to the damn finish line and realize that they done left their spikes at the starting line. And you can't cross finish line if you ain't got no spikes on. That's not an actual rule in track, but it is for this story. So that means while everybody else is crossing the finish line, your ass going back to get your spikes because you didn't tie them up good. You was too busy running your mouth, playing games. You was doing this, that, and the other. You was not taking care of your business. Now you got to take your ass back, get your spikes on, and now you got to try to run this race again. And you're tired because you're trying to hurry up because you don't want to be that last. So now that means that you done ran a quarter mile, damn near a quarter mile one direction, damn near a quarter mile the other direction, and now you're trying to run a damn near quarter mile again. And you praying that you get to the finish line with a little bit of dignity so you ain't got to try to start over again in your 70s. Listen, man. If you don't ever enjoy and take heed to any other episode of my podcast of Totally Disgusted, by all means, please take heed to this one. Don't be trying to have no babies in your 50s if all your kids is grown. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. If you're going to start something in your 50s, then try to start a business or something that you enjoy so that it don't feel like work. 50s ain't for starting over. 50s is for slowing down. And so many people in my demographic, man, and a little bit older, and those that are coming up younger, are just having a hard time trying to make ends meet. They done played hard growing up now. All the partying and eating bad and all that stuff catching up with them. It's people still having to work well into their 70s. Some even into their 80s. Man, you supposed to be sitting down somewhere, man. I pray every single day that I can get the stuff in order that I need to get in order. There's things about my life. I talked about this in my other episode. I think it was episode 40 or 41. Is this as good as it gets for me? There are things that I still want to do, man. I have never owned a home. Never owned a home, man. I've lived in a couple of them, but I ain't never owned a home. I want to own a home with some land, man. I want to be able to invite my kids and eventually grandkids and my nieces and nephews and my great nieces and nephews and my siblings and all of that. My mom, while she's still, I want to be able to have them come over and just have a good time at my house where we can make noise and have fun. I ain't got to worry about parking or, this being somebody else's property and this. I want to own sports cars, man, before I'm too old to get my ass in them. There are things that I have not done yet, man, because of decisions that I made early on and lack of information. I don't want to be 70 years old and still having this conversation and still going through this stuff, man. I'm already in my 50s having this conversation. And I'm closer to 70 than anything. I'm 15 years away from 70. I ask God every single day, God, listen. I've been putting in the work. I've been putting in the effort, God. Every day I get up. I got a good attitude, a good spirit, God. I'm treating people right. I be trying to work with my mindset and to keep all the negativity out and all the little demons that be trying to talk trash, and I be trying to filter all of that stuff out, God, because I really and truly want to enjoy what little life I have left. I don't know how much time I got left. I'm so happy that I made it this far. And I pray that I get another 40, 50 years. But if I do, I don't want to spend them like this. I don't want to watch my children make poor life choices and end up doing goofy stuff in their 40s and 50s. No, man. Starting over in your 50s is not for the weak. You're in that strange space where you're not old, but your ass ain't young either. If you took care of your body up to this point, you can still move pretty good. You still got functionality in your limbs. That's a blessing. But truth be told, when you are in your 50s, you need to be someplace slowing down. I ain't saying come to a stop. You don't want to come to a stop. You always want to be active. You always want to be doing something. You always want to be involved in stuff. You know, you can still run your business. And if you want to work, you can still work a job. But let it be because you want to work a job and not because you have to. I have to get up tomorrow morning and go to Amazon. I have to. I have no choice. I don't have the FU money. I have to get up in the morning and I have to go to work. I have to go with my knees hurting. I have to go with my back hurting. I have to go with the anticipation of having to do over 200 stops in a day because it's about to be peak season. I have to go to work in my 50s knowing, starting over, knowing that I don't know how long I'm going to have to do this. So I pray every day that while I'm doing it, I don't get hurt. That I can come home the same way that I went to work, and maybe a little bit stronger with a little more money in my pocket. But I have to get up and go to work. I pray that if you're watching this and you're not in your 50s yet, that when you do get in your 50s, that you've positioned yourself in such a way, because there's so many opportunities nowadays that did not exist when I was in my late teens, early 20s, 30s, and stuff like that. There's so many options and ways for you to secure your future. And I pray with every fiber in my being, if you are watching this, that you do what is necessary to ensure that by the time you get to this stage in life, into your 50s, 60s, that you slowing down, man. That you are pumping the brakes, that you just chilling. That your home is paid for. That your car or cars are paid for. That you can travel and take vacation. Hopefully you've been traveling and taking vacation up to that point, because that's essential too. But starting over in your 50s, don't let that be the game plan. Don't let that be your story. Don't let that be your story. All right? All right. That's my show for today, y'all. You're watching Totally Disgusted. I'm your host, Derek Andre. Starting over in your 50s, y'all. It's not for the weak. If this is your first time to the channel, I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, please, by all means, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you're in my demographic and you can agree with what I'm saying, or if you're younger and what I'm saying is resonating with you, please leave it in the comments and let me know. All right. Also, if you would like to always know when a new video is coming out, by all means, subscribe and click the reminder bell so that you never, ever have to miss another video. If you are a person who has been coming back and you've enjoyed my content for many, many moons, I thank you for returning. I also encourage you to leave your comments and share the video with friends. All right. So listen, real quick before I leave, my birthday is October 24th. All right. So on my website, DerrickAndre.com, I am having sales. All right, I'm having product sales to celebrate my birthday. If you use the code Happy55th for anything that you purchase from me, if you purchase any of my apparel, you get free shipping on your order. If you purchase any of my digital products, you can take 25% off at checkout. So stop by DerrickAndre.com. Make yourself a purchase. I would love to see 55 new book sales. I would love to see 55 people post a picture on their social media wearing one of my shirts. Looking forward to this birthday. I'm glad that I'm making it to 55. You know, I talk all this stuff about, you know, starting over when you're in your 50s, but it's a blessing to have made it this far. And for the most part, with the exception of some crazy stuff that has gone on in my life, for the most part, I've accomplished a lot and I've had a reasonable life. I have a lot of people around me that love me. And I have a lot of people around me whom I love. And that within itself is wealth that a lot of people will never experience. So I'm thankful for that. But I can't take none of that to the bank. So I'm going to go ahead and need y'all to head on over to DerrickAndre.com. Buy some of these books and stuff. And if you ain't got no money, man, just tell people about the channel, man. Help the channel grow. The channel can help me to be able to do the things that I love. I actually love doing what I'm doing right now, which is talking to people and trying to encourage people and be inspiring and motivational. And so if I could do this for the rest of my life and share with people my stories of struggle and overcoming, I would be the happiest man alive. Because what good is going through all of these different things if you can't share it with people who need to know that they can make it, who need that inspiration, who need that encouragement. So, all right, y'all, that's all I got. That's all I got, man. I love y'all. Be peace. Be love. Be one. And I'll see you in the next video. Next video will be next Monday. I'll be dropping it next Monday. I try to do them on my off days. I'm off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But Sunday, I don't do them because I just be kind of bumping around the house with my wife. But Monday and Tuesday, I'm at home. When work picks up, because it's about to go into peak season, I might only be down to maybe one day of recording until things slow down again and I go back to normal 40 hours or whatever. But yeah, so, all right, y'all, that's all I got, man. I love y'all. Be peace, be love, be one. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace. All right, let me get over here. There it is. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Totally Disgusted. Make sure to like, comment, and tell a friend.